3 reasons why the biblical flood was not a global event. Number 1 is the biblical data. Many biblical scholars, including people like Dr. Michael Heiser and others, have argued that the language that is used to describe the flood here can be taken hyperbolically. Or something else you'll see is what's argued in the ESV Study Bible, which states that since the geographical perspective of ancient people was more limited than that of contemporary readers, it is possible that the flood, while universal from their viewpoint, did not cover the entire globe. Indeed, Genesis implies that prior to the Tower of Babel incident, people had not yet spread throughout the whole earth. He talks about how later in Genesis, the author uses the phrase all the earth to refer to the Mediterranean seaboard. Remember too that the biblical authors did not believe that the earth was a globe. So even the way that we conceptualize a global flood is not how the ancient authors would have conceptualized it. The second reason is the scientific data. There is evidence that not only does not support a global flood model, but would actually refute all of the global flood models that are on the table. One of my favorites, and one that young earth creationists have not been able to handle aside from just positing miracles, is something known as the heat problem. To keep things real short, based on creation science, the earth would have released so much heat that it would have destroyed everything, including Noah and his family. The mud problem is also something interesting that has been pointed out in publications made by young earth creationists. That said, though, we do have evidence for a local flood, and that has been pointed out by both Christian and non-Christian sources. And so for these 2 reasons alone, we should understand the flood to be a local event. A third problem with a global flood is the moral problem. This also doubles as an interpretive problem. The passages in Genesis clearly indicate that the purpose of the flood was to destroy the wicked, was to punish the guilty. However, based on the understanding of innocence that something like Proverbs 6 or other passages have, the global flood also causes the deaths of the innocents, namely babies. Babies do not do what is described in Genesis 6 and 7, and thus should not be accounted as part of the guilty in this narrative. They are innocent, again, not as in they are sinless, but that they have not done anything such that it deserves the taking of their life. God says that he hates the shedding of innocent blood in Proverbs 6, and yet a global flood seems to make God the shedder of innocent blood. Now, there are some ways around this objection, but these 3 reasons stacked together give strong evidence for a local flood view. Make sure to comment down below your thoughts, and definitely follow me for more content like this.